Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoilercast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, it is still Sunday, December 8th, because we are doubling up.
Little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, just a little bit. However, this was released in the week of Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that jazz.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
For this holiday special, we've got some more Batman because, we just can't get enough of Batman this year, seems like. We are doing Lieber Mayhew's Batman Noel.
Ooh.
So, this is a Batman take on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, with Batman, Bruce Wayne, being Ebenezer Scrooge, and a lonely little villain, or not even villain, just
henchman.
Yes, thank you, henchman of the Joker, being Bob Cratchit. You've got Robin being not Bob Marley. What is his name? Bob.
It's Marley. Jacob Marley.
Yeah,
Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley.
Yeah,
thank you. Whenever I think of Marley, I think of Bob Marley. So there you go.
Yeah.
Jacob Marley, though. Catwoman, Ghost of Christmas Past. Superman, Ghost of Christmas Present, with the Joker being Ghost of Christmas Future. So, Jeremy, what is your whelming on this little Christmas tale here?
I will say that I'm pleasantly whelmed, but well, kind of on the lower probably. I guess I probably should just say whelmed, maybe.
You're so awful on all your whelmings tonight. What are you doing? You're not committing to anything.
His the well meter fucks him up, man.
It does. Okay.
We've just been doing this for 3 years now.
Yeah, but the story I thought it was fun just seeing the little Christmas kind of adaptation to it. I liked the artwork except for the part that it was all mushed together. Like there was not much that would sometimes separate there, and so it kind of bleeds over, and so that kind of bothered me a little bit. And then also the one time where I started feeling like an old person, I was like, what is up with this teeny tiny print? I was reading it on my iPad. I have to zoom in to be able to see that some of the words. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't even have reading glasses, but I feel like I'm gonna need them now because I'm reading that thing. But
you need them. You're getting old.
Yeah, I am. So all in all, I was pleasantly whelmed. But also there was one thing that didn't get answered for me on there as far as his whole coughing thing. Just apparently you just need to be buried alive and you're over your sickness, apparently.
Yeah, didn't your dad ever tell you just rub some dirt on it and you'll be fine?
I guess. That was kind of weird to me, but I was like, okay.
Alfred fixed him some freaking honey tea. He quit walking around going, I'm Batman, and just said, I'm Batman. And that fixed it all up.
That's funny.
Richard, what is your whelming on this?
I'm pleasantly whelmed. I like the story a lot. I think it's also because I just like the story of A Christmas Carol. I like the Muppets Christmas Carol is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. I
like at the end of this, Batman does learn a lesson. I kind of wish this story was Lex Luthor. I feel like Batman is a real asshole in this, and especially at the start, and I just feel like that's not Batman. But regardless, I get that they needed him to be Scrooge in this, so he has to be an asshole. But I still liked it. The art is fantastic, though I don't like what is this Brian Azzarello and Lieber Mayhew. Lieber Mayhew always does a lot of his stories, and I hate his Joker. It's not that it's bad, it's just gross. They really love to focus on the grin in the mouth of Joker, and his mouth is it is the definition of a gaping maw. It's so gross, and I hate seeing it. But that's just me with my body horror issue kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I'm pleasantly whelmed.
Nice. I'll have to say I am pleasantly whelmed as well. I've known Lee Bermejo's artwork from like covers, of course, especially of Batman. I really like his take on Batman. It's different. And I think it's honestly very fitting for something like Robert Pattinson's Batman. It reminds me a lot of that, like the way his suit is done and stuff with all the straps and whatnot.
Yeah, I got that vibe as well.
But I never read anything that he wrote. At least there's nothing that I remembered. And I feel like, for an artist that puts a lot of what seems like time and effort into his craft and does a really good job at the artwork side, I feel like the writing side, he did a really good job as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it and thought it was really good. You made a comment about, the Christmas Carol and that being one of your favorite stories. I feel like even though it is a favorite story, that it wouldn't take much though for it to turn and not adapt that story very well. So were you ever worried about that?
No, mostly I think I was just like, oh, who's because I've never read this story. I've heard about it, but I didn't have a lot of it spoiled for me. So I kept going like, oh, who's going to be, Jacob Marley, and who's going to be the ghost of Christmas past? Who's going to be the ghost of Christmas present? Who's going to be the ghost of Christmas future? And I liked all of them except for the ghost of Christmas future. I didn't think that was fitting for that. But no, I didn't think it was like ever going to be not a great story. I don't know.
Okay.
That never crossed my mind, to be honest with you.
Got you.
Yeah, and I would say I really, it's one of my favorite story plots too, is the Christmas Carol thing too. But yeah, and I was kind of like Rich, I was interested to see who was going to be each one, and I did kind of chuckle whenever Superman was Christmas present.
Oh man. I know Michael. Yeah, I knew immediately. Like I heard the sigh in my head when he showed up. I got to be honest with you. One of my notes for that is this is some fantastic storytelling. Like the fact that he picked, because first off, if you're getting into the Dickensian story, Ghost of Christmas Present is supposed to be like a Father Christmas, and he's supposed to have this emanating light. And he's supposed to be like a symbol of hope and stuff like that. And I was like, that's Superman. That's fucking Superman to a T. So I was just like, that's a perfect choice for the Ghost of Christmas Present. I just loved that.
I completely agree. I will, as much as I hate Supes, I completely agree with everything you're saying. He was a perfect choice. However, here's my beef with Superman as Ghost of Christmas Present. He shows up in the book hearing Batman coughing.
Yeah,
I knew him coughing however far away.
I knew you were going to say that.
Are you following me, Jeremy? Follow along now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got super hearing, is what Michael is saying.
Well, yes.
He's got super hearing. Okay. He comes to Batman's aid with the coughing and all that jazz. He goes to leave Batman.
I knew you were going to say this.
Oh, about the.
Batman doesn't even have time to hit the key fob on the Batmobile. That motherfucker blows up.
I know.
Superman does not come back. He doesn't hear an explosion and say, I may need to check on that.
My theory going along with A Christmas Carol was, is any of this real? Is this just a dream that Scrooge had, if you will, or Batman had, to make him learn his lesson, and then the day of Christmas he does the right thing or something like that? But no, I wrote a note of Superman just was like, you know what, you've learned your lesson, goodbye. Lois needs me.
It's Christmas Eve, motherfucker. I got shit to do. That's
I thought that same thing too, where he just literally half a second and it blows up. And for one, I mean, probably could have heard somehow known that bomb was there too. I don't know, but
saw it with his X-ray vision.
Yeah.
Felt the concussion blast of it. I don't know. He you know, of anything, he heard it though.
Oh, absolutely.
If it's not a dream. I like your idea of it being a dream. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. But if it's not a dream, he absolutely heard it and said, "Oh fuck it, he's Batman. He'll be fine."
Yeah,
Even though he's got pneumonia and like dying, basically.
Yeah. That was my other thing. Is like he probably thought like, oh, he's Batman. He survived. Like he'll be fine. Or yeah, he was like, he's gonna die of like lung cancer or something. Like we all gotta go sometime, Bruce.
The other thing was, I think he even said in the story, he was like, shouldn't you call Alfred and get him to come get you?
Mhm.
And like, still the thing blew up and he didn't go back and check. It's like, you didn't even want to drive it home.
He's like, whatever, I've done my part in the story. I'm out.
Right? They didn't pay me enough for more panels. I like your idea of Lex Luthor. However, I think I like the Batman aspect as well because it makes Bruce Wayne more human than like above. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is that like Bruce Wayne, like when you talk about like say Moon Knight and Batman get in a fight, you know, Batman has time to prepare. Who wins? And it's always like, oh well, Batman because he prepared. But it's never the consideration of like him failing because he didn't prepare or him just having a bad day or, you know what I mean? Like not taking those things into consideration of like, this is just a man. And like, he is so hell bent on getting the Joker that he's gone to this extent. And I'm not saying that that's like, I'm not saying that, you know, that's not our class. Like, I'm not saying that's classic Batman, like that he would do something like that. But I feel like Batman at his like, at a desperate Batman or whatever, I could see him doing something like that, and then like getting the goal in the way of like what, you know, what's good for whoever.
Yeah, well, I mean, they definitely, I don't know in the comics per se, but they definitely touched it on the animated series where Dick leaves, like when Dick no longer becomes Robin and he leaves Batman and becomes Nightwing. There's a scene where Batman is like beating up a low-level henchman and there's like a kid in the room and Robin's like, Bruce, what are you doing? Like, he's got a kid, man. Like, and Bruce is very like, it doesn't matter, you know, he's a criminal and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, but he's doing it because he has to make money. He has to feed his kid. And it's one of those where Batman sees things as black and white, which is in the story, talking about Scrooge sees things as black and white. Whereas in reality and how Dick sees it, there's very levels of different shades of gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought the idea of like, I like my Batman where, yeah, he is prepared and he can be a little dickish, but he's also like friends with people. He's not an absolute asshole. But I do like at the end of this, he kind of learns that it's almost like the Pattinson thing where he learns that he can't just be a symbol of fear. He has to be a symbol of hope as well.
Yeah. I like the overarching story of this for Bruce. That is really nice and something I feel like different that you don't get a lot of times in normal monthly comics.
Yes, agreed. Real quick, I wanted to back up for a second just to that X-ray. Mainly, I just want to talk about the art. I love the art. And that X-ray shot, I thought that was fantastic art.
X-ray shot.
Yeah, where Superman's using his X-ray vision to see into Batman's chest.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that looks straight up like an X-ray that you get like from the doctor. Like it's just so good.
Yeah. Lee Bermejo's artwork is just insane.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, I love the way he draws. I love the actual like pictures of him and everything. It's just for me, some of it like the way he had them just kind of laying over each other in some areas. Like it just kind of took me a minute to figure out what all was what. But as far as the actual quality of the stuff, I think it's great.
Yeah, I will agree. Like his panel, like how he lays out his panels and stuff, it's a little too all incorporated and it needs to be blocked off a little bit better because there were times where I realized I missed a line because it was like way down in the bottom right hand corner or something like that. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, especially towards the end when it's the Ghost of Future and you see like all the explosions and the chaos and the shit that ensues. That really had me like trying to figure out like where am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to read this?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the flaws, one of the cons, if you will.
Are you talking about where like all the anarchy is going on?
Yeah.
That was a difficult one.
and it was like 2 splash pages of it.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic artwork all the way around, but like trying to read that because there's like word bubbles at the top, they're in the middle, they're stumbling down at the bottom, and it's like, where do I go?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to read this? Especially digitally. It may be different in an actual book, but like digitally, when you get everything all at once, because that's a better way of presenting the artwork. Like, yeah, that kind of, it threw me off.
Yeah, I tried to remember that this double splash page would be like on 2 pages, so that's how I chose to read it. Was like read it like
Yeah.
left to right,
Oh.
and then top to bottom on this like first section, and then. But regardless, I agree that doesn't justify. It still was hard for me. Like regardless, I was like, there was a couple times where I too had the exact same issues y'all were having. For that, I just wrote, we do this. I write snarky comments. I wrote like the gang instead of the gangs of New York. I was like the gangs of Gotham City. Like what the fuck is? It was just a weird like future where like there's a Batman, like almost like the Sons of Batman, and then there's also like a Joker gang, and they're just like all fighting each other, and I don't know. It was just weird to me.
So since we're there, you were saying you didn't like the Joker as the Ghost of Future. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was your beef with that?
Well, I just like, so again, the Dickensian, like it's supposed to be death. Like it's supposed to be the Grim Reaper. It's supposed to be Aubrey Plaza, if you will.
Oh, no.
And while Joker is like a murderer, and I get that, I just don't see him as like a death character. I would have liked, and I know we're doing a one-off Batman story. We got to have Joker in it. So like, I get it, Lee. I get it. But I'm like, make it Ra's al Ghul. He's all about like trying to beat death and trying to like conquer death. Make it Ra's al Ghul be the Ghost of Christmas Future and stuff like that. I think that would have been cooler to me personally.
I got you. I thought it was very fitting and really enjoyed that the Joker was Ghost of Future, you know, Christmas or whatever, because like that's how I looked at it. I was like, oh, he's definitely death. Like he is like, what's the end? You know what I mean? Like he could take Batman off the page or whatever, I guess, if he really wanted to. But I like your idea of Ra's al Ghul as well. The only thing which kind of, I guess, goes with that is just, he's got the Lazarus Pit, and so he's constantly rejuvenating. But that goes along with what you're saying of like he's constantly trying to beat death. So, but yeah, no, I really liked it. So that's why I was wondering, like, why you didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like everything that Joker does. Like I like him dragging, but like the other thing too is they're talking about like the story of A Christmas Carol, and he was saying that like, oh, my dad, he was a real big talker, and like, when he's telling stories, he would embellish, and so his characters talked as much as he did, if not more. And then he's like, but this third guy, he didn't say a word, and I'm like, that's not the Joker.
Yeah,
he would have been yapping nonstop.
But did the third guy not say a word because that was his boss? Like, was his fear of his boss the reason why that third one did not say a word?
What are you referring to?
But Joker was supposed to be is the boss.
Yeah, no, I
Joker, correct. Joker is the boss, and Bob, who's our Bob Cratchit, who's telling his story to his son, that he is a henchman of the Joker. And so if the Joker is death, if Joker is the third one, and in Bob's story, he doesn't say a word, even though Bob over embellishes what a lot of these characters would say. Like, is the fear he have of his boss the reason why that Ghost of Christmas Future doesn't talk, really?
Maybe
like Bob is afraid of Joker kind of thing.
Correct.
So true. But so I took it as like at that point, Joker was already dealt with, and he's just telling the story afterwards. Because that's when they show it's at the end of the comic whenever they show that it's Bob telling the story.
Right. No, yeah.
I mean, in all technicality, it's Tiny Tim telling the story, because he talks about how my dad would tell me this.
My dad, yeah.
So in all technically, the narrator is Tiny Tim. But yeah, it could be Michael. I mean, like that's something that's debatable.
So even then, if it's Tim, as scared as Tim was as a kid seeing the Joker, And if his dad's like, I don't know if there would be a correlation of the dad telling the story and it being the Joker. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like it was more of trying to show that fear level, I guess. You're right in the sense that like the Joker is very much a showy person. He's very much a talker. Like, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But I think it had something to do with a fear factor. That's how I was taking it anyways when I was
Yeah.
reading it. I was taking it more of a fear factor of somebody.
Yeah, it very well could be. I get what you're saying. It's just, and then Joker even goes and like he does talk. Like once Batman's buried, it's back to just being normal Joker, where he's like,
Right.
you know, let's play Clue or whatever, and he's like talking to Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Speaking of the graveyard, I love the line of there's a part where it's talking about if you had the chance to change to get it right, would you fight for it? Sometimes it takes dying to teach a fella how to live. I love that line. I think that's a really cool line as Batman's like digging himself out of the grave. I thought that was a really cool line.
I like his tombstone that the Joker gave him.
Yes.
Here lies
Yeah.
a bat. He died boring and predictable, and nobody loved him.
It's literally like you're adopted. Nobody loves you. Man, the shot of Joker peeking through the door saying ho ho ho.
Yes.
Fucking
Oh
horrifying.
yeah, that was oof.
Fucking
Here's
horrifying.
Johnny.
Yeah, no, it really does invoke the Shining scene. Like, it is so horrifying, though. I was just like, what the crap?
So, did you read this again with Mark Hamill?
Oh, yeah. Most of the time, whenever I read Joker, it's always Mark
Yeah.
Hamill's voice.
Well, I didn't know if you'd go with Heath Ledger because you said that, you felt like Lee Bermejo's artwork towards this was more of like a Heath Ledger style Joker because of the scars and stuff like that.
Yeah. It is argued that a lot of people think that he did copy, but I want to say when that movie was coming out, they used some of like unseen sketch from Lee Bermejo to design Ledger's Joker after Lee Bermejo's. I think that's the actual like behind the scenes stories on that, because a lot of people think he just copied Nolan's Joker, but I think it's actually like kind of the reverse,
the other way around.
Yeah, but regardless, yeah, no, I don't know why. Just my head immediately. It's because the animated series. It's my favorite Joker voice, and I just immediately go to that.
Jeremy, whose voice do you use for these characters?
For Joker,
you don't even
I'm
put a
kinda,
voice, do you?
Well, no, I do.
Okay.
For Joker, I'm not obviously not haven't listened to Mark Hamill's enough, but I feel like from what I read his voice in, it's kind of close to Mark Hamill. I would say it's probably a mix between Hamill and Ledger, the way that I still read it in kind of a high pitch like type voice, and then Batman. I probably on that one. I'm probably more like the animated or Batman Beyond, that kind of voice.
The Terry McGinnis or the old man Batman?
Oh man,
that's the same one. Yeah, that's both Kevin Conroy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't realize Conroy came back for that. I never really paid a whole lot of attention to Beyond.
Yeah, Conroy did old Bruce as well in that show.
Nice.
And was he the original Batman voice too?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The animated series.
So, yeah.
Nice. Look at you doing stuff.
Yeah.
Starting right off, man, right off the bat, first page in, I just wrote, Gotham has never looked more beautiful. That shot of the cityscape, and it's snowing, and like the snow is like accenting things, and then there's also like another shot of like Batman running across the rooftop as the bat signal is like shining in the sky. I was just like, my God, Gotham has never looked more beautiful. This is just amazing artwork.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved you've talked about this in other books that we've read, but all the onomatopoeias, especially the snow, like there's one in particular where he's running across the rooftop and it's runch, 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 runch. And I'm like, that's exactly what it would sound like running in fucking snow. Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I noticed too. I was like, oh yeah, like actually, and you can hear it. Like I could hear it in my head. Like just that's cool.
You mentioned it, Michael, but one of the notes I had down here to ask y'all: what do y'all think of the bat suit?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not as much of a critique as y'all are.
I enjoy it. Some things I just feel like are impractical. However, like in general, I like it. I think it's pretty good. I don't like the cowl. That's probably my least favorite part.
Really?
But like the actual suit.
It's got the short ears.
Yeah, but like it's also like thick, veiny something or other on around the face and eyes. I'm like, oh,
that's not veiny. I think that's showing like that's technically how like your muscles underneath your skin kind of work, but it's not veins.
Oh, sure. I know it's not actual veins, but like just to give that visual, to people listening, like it's very embellished on like the scowl where there's like a bunch of wrinkles and stuff, and then like the stuff from the outside going towards the ears, the actual ears, and then the bat ears, like those indentations. Like I don't care for any of that. Like he just, I don't know. I know he's supposed to look fearsome when he's up close on somebody, but I don't know. He's doing too much. He's being extra with that.
I like it. It's not my favorite or anything, but I do like it. The critiques I have on it is I don't like the weird, like, it almost looks like the Green Ranger's like golden vest, like that part of the cowl where it has like the bat symbol on it. I don't like that part. It looks kind of weird to me. I love though the way Lee draws it, where you can actually see like plates of armor and then it's just cloth again. Like there's no protection whatsoever. Like he's got some on his thighs later on as he's getting more scuffed up. You can see there's like bullet holes, and then you can see like a little bit of armor where the hole is. And then on his chest, you can see that it's very like plated, but then like on his side where his like love handles would be, he's kind of unprotected there. It's really cool. I think he definitely did a bunch of cool design on it. Like he thought about how like a practical looking Batman would work. The only thing that I also don't think would work in real life is the amount of straps that he has on those boots. Like, how long would it take you to put on that boot?
That was my biggest critique. I'm like, those, like, they look cool. Like, I like the way the boots look, but at the same time, like, I'm not putting them fuckers on. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm not looping all those. No, that's way too many belt buckles.
Yeah, no, it is. I agree. It's like, what the hell, man?
Like that's the equivalent of Rob Liefeld in pouches with belt buckles for Lee Bermejo.
That's funny.
I did like that he put in the kind of the OG bat suit there whenever Alfred was hanging up his.
Oh yes, I love you see all the different bat suits. Yeah, the first one where they don't show it, but he had purple gloves. That was really funny, where it's like the homemade one. Yeah, no, I like that as well, Jeremy.
How did y'all feel about the memory of Robin being Jacob Marley?
I mean, I thought it went well with it. I mean, because obviously Batman's only going to listen to somebody that was that close to him. So, and the way that it go, I think it fits well with the storyline of the Christmas Carol type thing, because the Jacob Marley, the original one, I mean, he was a co-worker or co-founder, I guess, of their business. So I think it fit really well with it.
Yeah. I echo what Jeremy said. Yeah, Marley's supposed to be the partner for Scrooge, so obviously it would be Robin. Though they never say, is it, or do they? I can't remember now. Is it Jason Todd? I'm assuming it's Jason, since that's the Robin that died, but I don't think they actually ever named the Robin. So maybe this is an alternate universe where Dick died.
Or is that just what you're hoping?
No, I like Dick. Dick's my favorite Robin.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I got that one. Yeah.
My least favorite probably is Damien. But
shut your mouth.
No, I will not.
I love that little shit. He is absolutely my favorite. comic-y pasta real quick.
Uh-oh.
There's a Amazon has this Christmas Batman movie. It's a cartoon, and Batman has kind of like been taken out, but like 9-year-old Damien, very cartoony, very super cartoon. You could watch this with your kids, Jeremy. Okay, so super cartoony, like Damien takes over as Batman to save the city, and I love it. I love that freaking movie. It was fantastic. And my son was watching it, and I was like, he was excited about it. He enjoyed watching it. And then I was like, hey, I've got just the book for you. And then I got to thinking about it. I was like, no, I don't. I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry, I do not have that book for you. I agree. I think this is Jason as well. Like we've only known one Batman or one Robin to have perished, and it was Jason. It was his costume was similar to this as well, if I remember right, and I feel like it was Jason as well.
Yeah.
I think it's funny too. Like, I don't know if it's because of the material it's made out of, but like, whenever those suits are just hanging there for display, they still have muscle tone. Like, if you look at the legs, like it still shows there. I'm like, what? Did you make figurine like mannequins to have all the muscles just to like, I guess, fit better or something?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, like Alfred's got to have a nice prop to be able to like make this suit with.
Yeah, I guess.
The shot of Bruce like sitting naked in front of the bat computer with like the clothes like on the floor. I was just like, you fucking heathen. Fucking put some clothes on and don't just lay them on the ground just because you have a butler. Like
he's got pants on.
Does he?
Yeah,
looks like he's naked to me.
It goes down later. You can see that he's got pants on.
Yeah, this is before Batman damned, Bat Dong.
I think this is in the same continuity, if I'm not mistaken. I think.
Is Batman damned?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it's Lee Bermejo doing all the like art as well. So I want to say they have said that this is in the same universe as Batman Damned and the Joker book that.
I'm interested now.
Brian
I'm more interested. What are y'all's thoughts on Catwoman being Ghost of Christmas Past?
I think it played really well. Again, I think it played really well into the storyline there of her being Christmas Past, and it helped in that of her lines, like what they were, their conversation of like where he was just an old man now, and how they used to go chasing through the buildings and everything like that, and remembering that past stuff. So I think that played really well into it.
Yeah, again, same. I like it. I love this one. I love this Catwoman outfit design. That's my favorite design, where it's like the leather kind of like biker suit, and she's got like a leather kind of like cap with cat ears and goggles, and it looks like an old kind of like motorcycle outfit. It's just one of my favorite Catwoman designs. And yeah, I love the little callback. I think if you read at the back, they talk about when she's talking about like, we used to get into some fun back in the day. Lee Bermejo said that this was kind of like a reference to the old like 60s Batman with like silly stuff. So that's why you see Robin tied up with like not a lion, a tiger, like trying to attack him. And she's wearing like an old classic outfit. It's not the one from the 60s show, but it's one from the older comics.
That's what I was going to ask when you were referring to the 60s. Like, were you referring to like the 60s comics? Because that's like her outfit from there, or like the 66 Batman, like with Adam West. And
I was referring to the Burt Ward with, I think it's supposed to do, I think it's doing double duty there, where the costume is from 60s Batman, but the fact that Robin is tied up like that, it's supposed to be like, that's the Adam West Batman, where Robin's always in trouble.
Holy smokes, Batman.
Holy angry cat, Batman.
There were two things, like I was saying, like with the Catwoman thing, is like whenever I was reading it, and like he got real close to her, and like she was like, like yes, and like that's what she was wanting. And I was like, I don't think you want, like, you need you need a social distance there, Catwoman. Like you Yeah, I don't think you know what he has there.
He's got. I wrote a pun down. He has bat-kitis.
He absolutely had what she wanted. We all know that. Like,
he does.
nobody else wanted Bat Dong from Batman Damn. However, she wants it all the time.
Yeah,
That's funny.
But the other thing, whenever I was looking back at it and thinking of like whenever you're saying the like what voice I read it in, now whenever I read those lines, especially this one, where I read it and it is the "Where is he?" like kind of voice. Like I have to at that.
I hate that.
Yeah. When there's a scene where he's like frothing at the mouth saying that, I think. And yeah, I read that in the
this
same
the one with
Christian Bale.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
It's literally "Where is he?" And I'm like, I read it in that.
Same, Jeremy. Absolutely.
Damn. I like how I recall, and I could be wrong, but I felt like Ghost of Christmas Past usually dealt with a love. And,
Yeah, it was.
that, of course, that time of year and stuff like that. So I like that they picked Catwoman because of that relationship they have had over the years.
Mhm.
So, and how she's been a love interest of Batman, like a lot. So,
Yeah. And again, if you used Roz, you could have used Talia. That would have been
Right.
a cool one as well. But no, yeah, I was fine with Catwoman. And I too hadn't thought of that. But yeah, I think they mentioned that though at the end of the book or something like that. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Sorry.
I don't like that Lee Romeo has to bring back the freaking Pearl Drop.
Well, there was no pearl drop though. There was no. They just took the purse. That's all. I specifically wrote a note. I was like, oh God, we're getting the death of the Waynes again. But I was like, but no pearl drop.
See, that's the thing is like I saw it and I didn't even have to see it. Like that's how much we've gotten it. It's like I don't like I just it's just implied. It's just implied that they're there.
Yeah.
Like why? Like why? Why did we have to have that?
I don't know. I feel like it's contractually obligated. Anytime you tell a Batman story, you have to show the death of the Waynes.
We need the Wayne that I here, so can you work that in? Where can you work that in at?
I like that they did kind of like a Sin City thing where it's black and white and like the blood is red. And in this case, the purse that he steals is red and the flower in her hat is red. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I too was like, oh God, here we go again. Like literally that's what the note says. Here we go again. Death of the Waynes.
Death of the Waynes. Again on Christmas.
Michael, we were talking about Catwoman. I have to throw this in here. When Catwoman's fighting Batman and she cracks the whip and it says Wachak, I wrote Michael Whip noise.
I remember reading it and thinking, is Richard going to point this out?
Yeah.
Like, is the is that going to make a...
I meant, honestly, for our listeners, I didn't have time. I was going to make it a soundbite. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll put it in post. I don't know.
That's funny. Leave my Chandler whip alone.
Back with Catwoman, I like seeing Lee Bermejo takes a moment to draw some of the other Batman rogues, like the classic rogues. So we see Scarecrow, Two-Face, Penguin, stuff like that. Although I gotta be honest with you, I do not like his Scarecrow. It looks like a guy wearing a gimp mask almost. I wasn't a fan of that. I like his Two-Face and I like his Penguin, but I was like, what is that Scarecrow?
Yeah, his Scarecrow looks like he's like from Bob's Burgers or something. Like he has no chin. Like it's just like you've got bottom lip and then you've just got neck and that's it. Like it's
when Superman is showing, Batman things, he's doing his whole like Ghost of Christmas Present thing. Bruce says a line, he's like, then we only decrease the surplus criminal population he's talking about the little boy, and he says, "I'm going to scare him so badly he doesn't ever dare follow in his father's footsteps." And I was like, Jesus, Bruce, it's just a child. Which this is where it gets into that, like, I don't really like this Batman, but again, for the sake of the story, he has to be kind of like a dick.
I mean, I think it's solid reasoning.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I was Batman, I'm like, yeah, it's probably efficient. But they had a happy ending.
Yeah, they did.
Bruce turns it around, brings him a Christmas tree.
Oh my. I'm sorry, I have to mention this. They hammer home at the start with the Christmas tree, where Tiny Tim is like, he's made them a Christmas tree, and it's a
hot damn.
It's a very Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Like, it's just a stick, and they use a broken beer bottle as an ornament. They even like cut, like he made this beer can that looks like an ornament as well. And then they specifically point out during the fight with the Joker, when Batman comes crashing through the window, he like destroys that Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So I was like, oh no, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I was like, what will they ever do? But yeah, and then I love at the end, he brings them a proper tree. I thought that was quite cute.
Yeah, I felt bad for this kid because I'm like, yo, like that's probably his only army green man that he's got.
Yes.
And he uses that as an ornament. But like he's got a plenish like of Bud Light beer cans and I don't know, some Sam Adams beer bottle. That thing is broken and jagged. Mm-hmm. Like, what is this kid doing playing around with this freaking broken and jagged beer bottle?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's what they're implying is like he's so poor, his only toys are trash, essentially.
Right.
Like he has the one little army man, but the rest is just like dangerous things.
Oh. It looks like Bruce even gave him a job there at the end as well.
Yeah. He makes him, I'm assuming the like janitor or something, because he looks like he's wearing a custodian sort of outfit. But
where'd you see that at? Oh, at the very, very end. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Why didn't Bruce do that more often?
I don't know. Well, the other thing too, I was like, they're trying to make it like, oh, Bruce did all these great things, like for the Cratchits on Christmas Day, but I was like, he's also making people work on Christmas Day. Like those people had to deliver that tree, set it up, fix the window.
I take it as they just didn't celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
So he found those people and were like, hey.
I don't know. Some wait, is Hanukkah going on around the same time as Christmas? I don't know.
I think it's close, but it's not Christmas Day, if I remember right.
That's funny. I guess it's better than him just making Alfred do it.
Yeah, that's about par. Let's be honest.
That would be really funny if there was a panel of Alfred like repairing the window and he's just got like this pissed off look on his face.
The bad thing about it is Alfred probably did plan all that stuff out. Like he's the one that like hired the people to go and like get, and then like he did. So like he still did it.
Yeah. But so what you're saying is Bruce learned no lesson at the end of this.
Oh man.
One big thing that I just wanted to mention because I thought it was fun. Sometimes artists do this with little Easter eggs, but when Batman was going into the like toy store, you know, when he like smashes in the like boarded up doorway, and there's like this like, I don't know, puppet store, toy store. In the background is a Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog.
And also the abominable snowman of the North doll from that claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's in the little corner.
Where's Kermit at?
Kermit is
right.
I see
Kermit.
Yeah, Kermit's right by the foot, the little like silhouette of the foot, like the left foot.
Yeah, in the middle. It's like page 22, close to it, anyways, depending on like which file you're using.
If you're reading, it's when he kicks in that little door. You'll see like a big onomatopoeia that says Kirash and like a foot going through like some wood.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to find it. I'll find it later.
All right.
It's after he's hunted down Bob and put a tracker on him and stuff. Like right after he puts the tracker and you see it, then he goes off to the toy place. But yeah, I sure as heck didn't see Kermit or the Bonals. That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's this other doll to the far left, and I'm like, this is definitely a far stretch. But I'm like, that'd be cool if it was Scarface.
Yeah, I was wondering if we'd see something like that. That's why I was like scoping it out, like looking at all the different little dolls, and that's when I spotted those two, and I was like, oh, cool.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's it for me, man.
Yeah, that's all I had to.
Cool. Well, Jeremy, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. That's Night with a K. And haven't played in the past hour, so I'm still in chapter 12.
Yeah, well, that's good. maybe you know what? I'm communicating to you into the future. I'm now your ghost of Christmas future. You will finish this before Christmas.
Okay. And wait, I'll send you like a file where I just like robotically say like chapter 14 or something like that.
We'll get an AI voice of you.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about future things, before we get to where Richard's at, just want to let everybody know we're going to be taking a little break for like 2 weeks. So that is par for what we do. So no fret. We will be back come the beginning of the new year, and we've got some fresh new stuff coming out we're super excited about. So don't worry. We'll be back. I promise.
Yes.
Until then, Richard, where can they find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, a Blue Sky, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day and night, and Curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see. It's up in the air at this point. And Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X.
Nice. If you need some more Comically Comics holiday in your present right now, you can check out our last year's episode. We did a review of Lobo's Parliamentary Christmas. I remember that one. That was pretty funny. Did we do a 1 year before that? I feel like we did.
Yeah, I think we did.
I can't remember what it was, though.
I think we were the Guardians Christmas.
That's right. We did do the Guardians Christmas special.
Yeah.
That's right. So there's just some other ones to go and check out and enjoy. In the meantime, you can find me at Instagram and eBay and Shortbox at 22_comics. Then you can also find me on YouTube at 22comics. Thank y'all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. With all that being said, say Merry Christmas, Jeremy.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Jeremy. Merry Christmas.
Well, come what may. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wade.
Merry Christmas, Alfred. Goodwill toward men.